Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me here today. My name is John DiLullo. I'm the CEO of Deepwatch. Deepwatch is a great company. It's a tremendously successful company in the area of cybersecurity, and I'm excited to be able to talk with you today about some of the things that we're doing at Deepwatch to make people safer and to ensure that the enterprise, the modern enterprise, is rid of this scourge of cybersecurity and all of the pain that it brings to so many of us. So how do we do that at Deepwatch? Just at the highest level, I'd like you to understand a few things about the company. One is we're outcome-based. By that I mean we're not here selling a piece of software or selling a product or selling a box or an appliance or anything like that. We are trying to help you reach an outcome of keeping your enterprise safe. The second thing that you should remember about us is we make best of breed better. We work in an environment of BYOT, bring your own technology. We're not trying to replace everything in your security environment. We make what you already have work better. And the third thing that I'd love for you to consider about us, and what you're going to hear a lot in my talk today, is how we leverage AI, artificial intelligence, in our products. But the companion to that, the other important element of that story, is not only do we leverage that technology, we always keep a human in the loop. Because when it comes to the security of your enterprise, we feel that to provide the quality that you need today, that companies need today, keeping a human in the loop is vital. And anything you hear to the contrary is just wrong. Look at some of the most successful AI companies out there today. They all have thousands of humans helping to train their models. That's particularly relevant and important in cyber, which changes not only every day, but sometimes every single hour. So 3 things. We're outcome-based. We work with the investments that you've already made and we help them to run better. And we leverage AI, but we leverage that in combination with skilled experts. So let's go and let's talk through some of the things. So a couple of topics that we're going to cover. First, I'm going to give you an update, or our view, I should say, of the cyber universe as it is today. I'm going to talk a little bit about Deepwatch and exactly how we help our customers to be more secure. I'm going to say what makes us different than some of the other solutions you may have access to in the market. And then lastly, I'm going to give you a few proof points, elements, comments, and hard data from our customers that show just how we're changing the game, we're keeping people more secure, and we're helping them to save money at exactly the same time. I'll start first by talking about the complexities of the modern security environment. A lot happened. A lot of people still talk about the pandemic, but one thing that did happen during the pandemic is we all of a sudden needed to secure 500 million enterprise workers from Starbucks and their home offices and their boats and their cars or wherever they happen to be working from. This was an incredible burden on the modern enterprise from a security perspective. Also, every single year for the last 10 years, we've moved 400 million workloads to the public cloud without the security or the presence of a firewall or an intrusion detection system or a web application firewall out in the wild. Today, there are more than 50,000 enterprise applications, SaaS applications, that the 70,000 enterprise customers in the US are using. And if that weren't enough, more and more, and mostly under the pressure from employees, 40%, or I'd say as much as 40% of the modern enterprise compute devices today are unmanaged. They may be a Mac or an iPad or a phone or a Samsung or whatever. Throw that complexity into the mix together with, say, 20 billion OT and IoT devices that are also network attached and unsecured. And that's why you see the situation that has happened in cyber. The situation where for the last 25 years, every single year, the losses from cyber attacks has grown. So much so that the drag on the modern economy is more than $8 trillion. We're thinking of it this way. That's the equivalent of the gross domestic product of both Germany and Japan. That's how big the problem is. So what did we do? We invested in 1 million tools. Now, I probably most of you know what these initials and acronyms stand for. But tool sprawl is a real thing. In fact, there are 3,000 security companies out there today providing applications and appliances and trying to plug all of those holes, all of that porosity that we've built into the modern network. And what does that create? Each one of those tools needs to be managed, needs somebody that knows how to manage it, and it's going to generate alerts, it's going to generate telemetry. And you need to have people on your staff that know how to deal with that. So what do you get now? Now you get alert fatigue because you've got 75 products on a daily basis pumping out 1,000 alerts. And if that weren't enough, as most of you know, there's a huge personnel shortage of trained people in cyber, people that can actually help you. Those jobs remain open month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. So today, there's more than 2 million open cyber positions in the US alone. And all of this together with one more element, and that is the advent of AI and the empowerment of our adversaries with AI-based tools. I mean, long gone are the days where you will receive a poorly formatted phishing email from a Nigerian prince. Those days are over. Today's attacks are slick, they're sophisticated, and they're incredibly difficult to detect. One more thing. With all of this attacking the modern enterprise, as you would expect, governments have gotten involved. And so in addition to dealing with the problem and the threat of all the economic losses and financial impacts to your business, we now also have to deal with modern regulations, certifications, and different reports and report cards and different regulatory agencies that we all need to work with every single day in this business. The job is overwhelming. Our teams are burned out, and it's very sad to say that today in the US, the average lifetime of a CISO in any one job is less than 18 months. Now, there is an answer, and that answer is rapidly getting embraced, and that answer is MDR. That is the marketplace, the market space that we fit into, managed detection and response. In the old days, when you would go visit a CIO or a CISO, the first place they would want to take you is to their data center. And you'd see the glass wall and the glass walls and the air conditioning. They would beam with pride about how many BTUs of cooling they had and their raised floors and their plenum cables and how many cores they were running simultaneously. Today, they don't do that. Today, they don't take you there. Why? Because today, most people realize that it's much more cost-effective, much more secure, much more flexible, a much better economic offer if you bring those into public compute environments or to remote data center operations. But today, if you go into the average enterprise, or if you go into 2/3 of the enterprises, and you ask them to see their security operations center, they will take you there, even though most of the telemetry that operations center is processing is remote. And so people started to realize, the chief information security officers, the data privacy leaders of our company started to realize that this is an opportunity as well to leverage, to democratize the skills, the capabilities, and the tools that others have built. And so came into being the managed detection, the remote managed detection and response offers. Today, that consumes approximately 30% of the market, but according to Gartner, by 2030, more than 75% of all enterprise companies in the US will leverage manage detection and response. It makes sense. When an individual SOC has to deal with a crisis, it is usually the first time or the first time that year that they're dealing with that level of an incident. For our customers, our team, our experts are trained in that and deal with those types of events every single day. Also, some of the new technology, especially the AI technology, many of our customers don't really have the wherewithal to deploy. But we deploy it and we democratize it so that all of our customers can enjoy the AI capabilities that we've built into our products. So MDR is a thing that's here to stay. It is a great opportunity to not only, as I mentioned, outcome-based, make your company more secure, but also give you the opportunity to democratize our capabilities and technology in such a way that you can ultimately save a lot of money too. More secure, less costly. So how do we do it? And what made us, how did we get here? Well, we got here, we were founded in 2016. We took our first investment of seed capital in 2019. And with that, we developed our MDR capability, went out to market and found our first 25 customers. Well, we were amazingly successful. The next year we had 50. The year after that we had 100. Then we had 200. It's just been an incredible rocket ship with a company that's grown more than 1,000%. 1,000% since 2019. Amazing. 2025 is the most recent year and probably the year we're most proud of. It's the year that we introduced into our environment continuous threat exposure management, helping our customers make sure that not only are we covering them from a MITRE ATT&CK framework perspective, but also that they are aware of all of their potential infirmities and that they have a deep understanding of the surface area of their data infrastructure. It was the first year that we introduced solutions for Google SecOps. It's the first year that we introduced capable solutions in the Microsoft universe. And we're very happy about all of those new products that we've added. And lastly, this is the first year, we've always used AI. We've always had a passion around leveraging machine learning, both supervised and unsupervised machine learning capabilities. But this is the first year we really started to surface to our customers agentic solutions. Solutions that they could use to actually improve in a real-time environment and to completely understand in great detail what their security posture is. Now, when we talk about redefining, why are we different? What makes us different from all the other MDR people in the environment? I mentioned already the MITRE ATT&CK framework. We don't really care what framework you use. You can use the Atlas framework, you can use the NIST framework, you can use the MITRE ATT&CK framework. But it's important to pick a framework and understand all of the different attack vectors that you may be susceptible to. We take that attack vector map and we overlay that on your existing infrastructure. And we determine whether or not you have full coverage. That's the first step. That's something that we do that's truly, truly different. So understanding your environment and mapping to a framework that ensures that there are no open or unprotected attack vectors. That's step one. Step two is we implement a human validation scheme. We ingest a lot of data from your environment, but we include not only agentic solutions, not only a book in a box that's helping you determine the merit of any one alert. We inject human experts into that process to ensure that every alert that we look at, every element of the solution that we analyze is resolved to your satisfaction. And then lastly, we do everything with transparency. Whether we're just detecting an alert or we're acting on an alert or whether we're working on a remediation scheme, whatever it is we're doing, we give you 100% visibility into the steps we're taking, where we are in the process, and we allow you to ask questions as we go through it. Many of our customers just say, take it, manage it. But many of our customers also want to check in with us and make sure that we're living up to our SLAs and that we're meeting all of the requirements, all of our promises to our customers. And we do that every single day in a very effective way that ensures that our customers are kept safe. Okay, so from a technology perspective, and as I mentioned, we're outcome-based, but there is technology. First, you have to look at the whole model of our solution, which starts at the top. And the top is all the different products that you have. Now, I just put up some examples here. We have literally hundreds of these that we support, hundreds of different integrations. And we will collect the telemetry from all of those. In fact, some of these we will even manage for you if you choose for us to do that. After we collect all that data, what do we do next? We put this through our abstraction engine. Our abstraction engine takes all of the raw logs. It not only ingests it, but it correlates all of those logs. It contextualizes all of those logs. We enrich all of those logs with data, and we parse and format those logs in such a way that our detection and our dynamic risk scoring engine can now process that data and determine if there is a threat or an infirmity present. This also allows us to be agnostic as to your information infrastructure. We don't care if you change out products in your environment. So long as we're able to map all of that back to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, we can ingest it and we don't lose a beat. And so next, what we leverage is our dynamic risk scoring engine. We look at the alerts and we determine in a triage format, what do we need to work on, what can we ignore, and what do we need to catalog or classify. And so how do we do? Well, we use supervised learning for pattern recognition. Attacks they may not look the same. In fact, on any given day, there are more than 300,000 polymorphic malware variants minted. That really happens every single day. But they all look similar and they do similar things. They rhyme. And so ML, pattern recognition, helps us to detect that. It also helps us to detect anomalies. Detecting when something rhymes with something that's bad is almost as important as detecting when something doesn't rhyme with something that's good. And that's the other capability that we bring. The third capability that we bring is that we then do correlative detections. Many modern attacks are what we call low and slow. They may first present as a downloaded piece of email. They may next show up as a poorly formatted DNS call. And then, ultimately, they show up as a privilege escalation or somebody beaconing to an unfamiliar server or an unfamiliar source. That's low and slow. That may happen over a period of weeks. That's where AI really finds its legs and really helps customers to be more secure than they ever have been able to be before. And then in addition to all of that, of course, we have CAN detections. We have 20,000 CAN detections. And we realize that all of our customers are snowflakes. You may want to build your own custom detections. We work with you to do exactly that, to build custom detections that work in your environment, because every environment is different. Lastly, now we've got all of our alerts, we've done all the detection, we hand those over to a bank of agentic AI agents that do what? They catalog, they take an inventory, they summarize the tickets, and then ultimately they score them and present them back to our human experts who look at them and determine whether or not a definitive action needs to be taken. And that definitive action is determined by what we agree together. What do you want us to do? But it depends sometimes on the server. It depends on who the person is. It matters if it's an analyst or if it's the CEO. We work with you to set all of that up and to determine what the best course of action for every alert is. And then lastly, once we have now sent this through the bank of agentic agents, we now present this for remediation. And there are really 3 different ways that we manage remediation. The joke about MDR used to be 5 years ago that it was MD little r. Well, for us, it's not MD little r, it's MD capital R. And it's capital R because we respond on your behalf. Sometimes that's isolating a host. Sometimes that's revoking a user's credentials. Sometimes that's quarantining the user. Sometimes that's building a rapid case file and sending that off to a retainer agent. And then after we deal with that response, and after every event that we prosecute from an MDR perspective through our active threat detection, we then make a determination whether or not we have an opportunity to shift left, to make sure that the next time this presents, that you're safer, that we have a very capable a very detailed understanding of your environment, and that we help you to ensure that that environment is made robust and that your posture is appropriate to repel this attack the next time it surfaces. I mentioned AI, and we talk a lot about AI, but there's a few things I'll give you just to think about. We break our AI agents really into two categories. One are agents that operate in the Security Operations Center. They're almost like tools that our agents largely use. And then there are other AI agentic solutions that our customers can actually experience directly. I'll talk about just a few of these, but one of my favorite is the narrative agent. The narrative agent looks at every single alert and provides an auto summarization of those alerts and provides it in such a way and catalogs it in such a way that we can very rapidly determine how critical it is and which order we should deal with the alerts of the day in. That's one of my favorites. Another one that I really love is our CTEM agent, or our Continuous Threat Exposure Management agent. This is an agent that you can actually work with our customer and query it and ask it, just like you ask ChatGPT, what could I be doing to help keep my enterprise more secure, more safe? Another one is our Ticket Analyzer agent. Our Ticket Analyzer agent is constantly ingesting the tickets that we are writing out to our customers and looking for threads. It looks for threads across different customers. You may not be experiencing something that all of our other customers are experiencing on that given day, and that's something that you should be made aware of or should have access to as well. All of these AI agents are just starting to surface in the Cyber Operations Center. But let me tell you something. Not only have they made us much more efficient and effective, not only have they made our customers more secure, and think about what I'm going to say. Today, these tools are the worst they will ever be. They are just going to get better and better and better. And it's by leveraging this type of democratized AI talent, this AI capability through an MDR, that you get access to that guaranteed continual improvement of your posture and your security posture. Deepwatch by the numbers, just give you a feeling across our installed base. Today we process approximately 2 trillion events every single month. We respond to every single one of those events within 5 minutes. Within 6 minutes of that, we have an initial investigation completed. That's 11 minutes. And then within 32 minutes of the first receipt of the alert, on average, we've delivered back to the customer a solution for whatever that attack or whatever that inside risk was, whatever that variant of malware or worm or Trojan or whatever it is that you experienced, you can rest assured that within 30 minutes we've dealt with it. A few more things, and these are the ones I'm probably most proud of all the cases that we escalate. First of all, of the cases we escalate, between 75 and 95% of those are validated by our customers as being true positives. There's nothing worse than working with somebody that keeps sending you false positives. We have the best percentage fidelity in the industry. And then when we send you what we believe to be a positive detection, 98% of our customers reply and tell us that we either met or exceeded their expectation in how we dealt with that. And if you know anything about cyber and this business, you know that these are numbers that are inestimably different than what most people have experienced. Just in closing, I want to just mention a few things about precision MDR, which is, MDR can be the processing of alerts and dumping those alerts back on the customer. As you can tell from what I presented here today, that's not what we do. Precision MDR is all about custom, understanding that every customer is a snowflake, that you all have special needs when it comes to creating your security posture. You all have different applications. You all have different topographies of your networking environment. You all use different compute resources. And so we need to build different detections for every single company and make sure that we still cover the entire attack framework. We also need to be clear. We need no black boxes. There are MDR companies out there today that do not provide clarity into what they're doing. You can't actually see what the analysts at the MDR are doing. The promotion of cases, the resolution of cases, the detail and the forensics associated with the research that's done about a case. As a practice, we allow our customers to see everything that we do. We are comprehensive. I mentioned already that we are MD Big R. We handle the response, but we also handle all of the detections. And then we also focus on being preemptive and proactive in your environment. There's nothing more virtuous in security than stopping the attacker from getting a toehold in the first place. It's one thing to defeat an attacker. It's another thing entirely to have them move on to the next target because your environment was simply too robust. And that's what we focus on. And then lastly, we're ceaseless. We're always on. Many of the people that embrace MDR technologies do it because they know we're running we have 24-hour security operations centers. We have people working nights, working weekends, working Christmas, working Thanksgiving, working all of the holidays. Hackers don't care about those dates. In fact, they know that those are the dates that you're soft on. And those are the dates that we shine. And lastly, just a reminder about exactly who we are and where we are. Our corporate headquarters are in Palo Alto, California, in the heart of the Silicon Valley. Our research and development centers are in Bengaluru, India. And our North America SOC is based in Tampa, Florida. And so a great environment with leveraging the best of the best as far as resources in each area. I'll also share with you some of these quotes of our customers. Read these, they're very, very powerful. And then look at some of the other technology alliance partners that we have. And here's just a scattering of the more than 200 customers that we enjoy supporting and servicing every single day. Deepwatch runs your security so that you can run your business. That's what we're here to do. That's what we do best. And I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you may have about our company, about our offers. And thank you so much for your time today.